We gotta send our boy off to his first practice. First practice here, man. Here you go, man. Yo, you got your lunch? You got everything?
Oh, yeah.
You got phone?
Oh, thank you.
You got the Airbnb
Got lunch money?
Yo, man. Ask some good questions today, man.
Au revoir.
Yo, take care, man. Yo, miss you, man.
Yo, the shot. You're stepping in the shot.
Yo, later, man. Yo, be safe.
Bonjour et bienvenue. Je suis William Lou. Voici mon collaborateur Alex Wong. C'est le bonjour et bienvenue podcast. Nous sommes à Montreal pour les Raptors de Toronto. Alex, comment ça va?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, we're in Montreal.
Clearly, man.
Training camp week. We're here in Will's favorite city. Would you say Montreal is your favorite city?
No, but
really, eh?
It's one of my favorite cities.
Does it hit your top 5 at least?
In Canada, for sure, yeah.
Oh my God, man! What's your top 5 in Canada?
It's Montreal's in it, Toronto's in it.
All right.
You know, what else is in it? Calgary's actually low-key in it, man. Calgary's not bad.
Yeah. Jerome, how's his sound with a croissant in his mouth?
Shouts to Greta Bar.
Shouts to Greta. Listen, just want to give a quick shout out to already. Like, we're recording here in Montreal, walking around today on Saint Laurent. We're in the Mile End for a little bit, having some falafel at Falafel Yoni, and ran into some, hello and welcome fans along the way.
Why weren't you at practice though?
Jerome and I were just sorting out some stuff here at the Airbnb. We had a work meeting that we had to take care of.
Conflict.
But it was super cool. You hit up practice today on behalf of the Hello and Welcome Corporation.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's my favorite activity.
Favorite activity. So what are you bringing to the show with your access, my brother?
I'm also going to let you know that the Hello and Welcome podcast is presented by Betway. I didn't know how to say that in French, en français.
La Betway.
La Betway. Yeah, so what happened at practice today? So first practice for training camp, actually just before they allowed us into the gym, they told us that Scotty Barnes has been absent from the team for today's practice. He did not travel with the team yesterday after training camp to come here. It's a personal absence, so I don't want to speculate. But then again, I think people can kind of like maybe guess in terms of life events happening with him recently that it could potentially be tied to that. But ultimately, he's not been around. But it was our first chance to, I guess, get to see everybody else in the same gym, get a sense of sort of like how Darko's feeling about the team. They brought Davion Mitchell out to talk, Chris Boucher out to talk. Chris Boucher out here, like Kevin Durant, basically, like just 15 French reporters chasing after him. And he was in such a good mood. He was like rolling around on the ground, just having a great time playing like shooting battles with teammates and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest obvious thing is, Scotty's just not here for the start of training camp. And I did ask Darko about it just to see like, how is this going to impact sort of the preparation. Darko kind of downplayed that. He said Scotty's a very smart player. He spent a lot of time with the team. Therefore, he's going to be able to just come right back in. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I mean, Scotty's, I think, they've talked about working together so much, being around the team during the summer. If he's just going to miss a couple of days here, I think if anything, like the training camp is more important for some of the younger guys, the rookies, the new guys that are coming in, like a Davion Mitchell, to get familiar. So, yeah, I'm not like super pressed or concerned about Scotty missing a few days here.
No, I mean, look, first off, like life is life. Personal reasons, like always respect that no matter what. But I think especially with Scotty too, like, he really has spent so much time with this group all summer that I don't think it's going to be a huge carryover. I do think, though, that like for the rest of the team, it'd be great to like be able to play it and adapt to what he does. Because it's not like another guy who could step in and just like play the Scotty role, even in practices. But again, we talking about a couple of practices. I think this is okay. Hopefully he's still here, though, or he's going to make it back to, I guess, Montreal for the open practice on Friday, which will be huge at McGill. If you're in Montreal, you should go get tickets. They're actually quite affordable. I was surprised, $25 to go see the open practice. Tickets may still be available, but they're going to play at McGill on Friday. And then, of course, on the weekend, on Sunday, they're going to be playing that exhibition game against the Washington Wizards. So it would just be good to get a sense of like where everyone is, you know what I mean? But everyone else is there though. What else do you want to know, man?
I think that's about it, man.
Okay.
I think it's first day of training camp. We're still waiting for some of these stories to unfold. Like you mentioned, waiting for the preseason schedule to start. And I think for today. We can later go around the NBA a little bit because, you know, yesterday on Monday we talked about Media Day in Toronto.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of stuff happened around the league. Want to pick your brain about that.
Right.
But I think coming off Media Day on Monday, one of the comments that we didn't get a chance to talk about was, you know, Jakob Poeltl took the podium.
Oh, hold on. Before we go to Jakob Poeltl,
okay.
Let me just get you 3 things that actually happened at practice.
Okay, 3 things.
This is my practice notebook from day one, all right? Number 1. So Emmanuel quickly was wearing a brace on his right hand, a wrist brace.
Okay.
I think he was still able to go through practices, although we didn't specifically get an answer from Quickly or Darko on this. But he has been wearing a bit of a brace, so we'll see on that front. Maybe it's just precautionary.
Yep.
Number 2, you know, I love watching 3-point shooting battles or just like shooting exercises in general.
Yes.
And Ulrich Shamshe, unfortunately, I have to report by my count 1 for 10.
Work in progress
on mid-range jumpers.
Okay, work in progress.
That was a work in progress. Banked in some corner threes, but that's not.
It's okay. You're one of rebuilding, man.
It's okay though. We all know where we're starting from. I just want to report what I saw. That's all. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And my third scoop is that Garrett Temple, veteran on the team, is actually taking lessons to learn how to fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Air Canada.
Yeah, he has yet to go on his own flight by himself. Obviously, he's always got an instructor with him.
Yep.
But that's one of the projects.
Oh, he's even moved past like the flight simulator. Like he's doing
these
like
ain't
real life
simulators.
flying
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
real life flying. Yeah, I asked him if he was gonna fly during the season. He said it's probably gonna be too busy. But
yeah,
you know, I don't know what he's gonna be busy with. But it won't be flying. No, I just mean like.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
You guys got spare time.
No, that's super cool, and I think that's part of the appeal of, you know, being around the guys, especially at training camp, just learning a little bit about their lives and stuff, right? So
yeah.
Wishing the best of luck to Garrett Temple, our almost teammate.
Bro. Yo,
you know,
come
we
on,
almost
man.
made it happen, but
yo, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Should we get to the Raptors main event here, the Jakob Poeltl?
Let's go.
That you wanted to talk about.
Let's go.
So he was at Media Day, and I think a few of the comments got picked up because in general, like Jakob was just asked about the expectations of the team, and I guess what's the best way to put it? I mean, we'll play the clip here, but I guess the best way to put it is like he's not that high on where this team is going to be this year in terms of wins and losses, and people seem to take issue with that a little bit.
Like our expectation isn't to win like 65 games this year and be in the NBA Finals. I think we can have really positive experiences just based on how we develop, how we improve over the year. Like we don't need to win every single game for us to have like a positive outlook at the end of the season. Be like, okay, yeah, we had a successful year. So I think that alone helps. And to be honest, I think we put ourselves in a position where we can surprise a bunch of people, where we can exceed expectations, and I think those are things that make for a positive environment. And like at the end of the day, we can look back on the season and be like, yeah, we got better and we got a step closer to where we want to be.
So what's funny is I remember like obviously I was at Media Day. You know, you were busy taking a walk.
Yeah, Jerome and I had to take care of a friend's dog.
Oh, okay.
So we were dog sitting. Yeah.
Word. Right before you guys left.
Yeah.
Very generous of you guys.
Yeah,
what kind of dog was it, man?
It was a husky.
Husky.
Yeah.
Husky.
Yeah,
right.
It was a big husky.
Right, just like the original Raptors.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting there, and I remember when Savannah Hamilton asked the question, it was kind of like a follow-up, because by that point, like, I think as reporters sometimes, like when you go through the press conference, like you're looking for like a theme that you could write a story around. And obviously the theme kind of coalesced around the idea that the Raptors are officially in a rebuild. Now, I don't think like this is like breaking news to anybody who's been paying attention. Clearly they're in a rebuild. But when Masai sort of like officially declared it a couple of times to start the press conference in the day, that's sort of what the theme of the day became, and there was a lot more questions surrounding sort of this idea. And I think Jakob for me is like, he is like a very frank person. I don't know if it's like the cultural background or even just that the English isn't necessarily his first language, although obviously he's very fluent. But he is just pretty frank, and he's like pretty straight to the point. I remember one time when we interviewed him, this is after he got traded here to Toronto, and I asked him like, hey, what do you notice that's different about, Fred and Pascal, those guys who have come into the league together? And he was like, yeah, I noticed that they became superstars. You know, they're moving different. Their personality is different. You know what I mean? And like, I think a lot of people would shy away from saying that because it might sound bad, but that's just how it is, and that's how he sort of moves and talks. And so when he was asked about the sort of the focus of this team, he's clearly smart enough to know like what the deal is. I think everyone on the Raptors roster should be smart enough to know what the deal is. This year, they're going to prioritize development over winning. If the choices become those two things, it's going to be about that. Like, they're not going to do the Nick Nurse thing of like playing guys 40, 45 minutes and then nobody develops off the bench. They're going to do the opposite. But having said that, though, do you take issue with players essentially saying out loud that like winning is not going to be the number one thing?
No, I don't take issue at all. I think I'm with you in terms of just like how direct Jakob is in like addressing questions. My other thing too is like I feel like the last few years when some of the core guys like Fred, Pascal, and OG, like when they were going through their free agency or heading into free agency, like there's a lot of questions about like, oh, where is this team going?
Yep.
Are we going to develop guys? Are we trying to win? Are we trying to go on like two different tracks right now? And if anything, I find all of this to be really refreshing. Like from Masai and Darko being very open about this being a rebuilding process and being honest about that, to Jakob saying these things as well. I don't think Jakob saying these things takes away from the fact of him as like a competitor, of his like desire to win. I think Jakob's been in the league long enough, and like you think about the scenario that he was in San Antonio.
It was the
like
exact
when
same
he
thing.
first got traded from Toronto, it started a rebuild there. I mean, I know they were still trying to win with DeMar there.
I mean, come on.
But they were no longer a championship team. And Jakob was there. He was in a rebuilding process. He came here and was like, damn, you guys live like this? And then he got thrown into a rebuild again now after like a few years. So I don't take issue with that at all. And I don't interpret it as like Jakob basically like, talking about like winning is not the priority. You just have to be realistic about it in the NBA too. Like there's just certain teams that are going to be in this stage, and the Raptors are in that stage right now. And Jakob is, he's fully aware of that.
Yeah, I think you have to consider who it's coming from as well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Jakob has ever shown us that, like, he's not willing to play hard. He's not willing to compete. He's not willing to be professional. Like, this is a crazy practice report, but Jakob Poeltl took his shirt off right in front of me.
Oh, okay.
And he's in excellent shape. You know what I mean? Like, this
NBA,
is why you send people to practice, okay?
NBA player heads into training camp in great shape. I really appreciate that.
The shoulder hair just said
Will
boing
Lou,
as they
hello
popped
and welcome
out.
podcast of the Nation Network.
That's right. That's what I've been doing.
Be
These
a better
practices.
collective. There we go.
This is crazy. No, but I mean, like, I think for Jakob, like, he's given us no reason to sort of doubt sort of his approach. And I think sometimes it's weird because, especially when you're in a public forum, when you're speaking like in a press conference, for example, like people just don't want to hear the real thing. Like it's almost like we're playing a game. Like so often when I don't know, like you've been to a million, practices and press conferences. Not recently.
Just been caught up these last few days.
Just so many dogs to watch, man. Dogs to watch. Meetings to take.
Yeah.
But like you've sat through those words. It's like they're playing a game. They have to speak in a way that's like very careful, very calculated. That's obviously like a lot of press relations. You know what I mean? And this is like not PR savvy because the one thing that the Raptors went so viral on us on media day was this.
Sure.
Was Jakob Poeltl saying we're not trying to go for the championship this year?
Yeah.
Which like everybody who has any sense knows is just one of the things you don't say out loud for press relations like purposes. And I don't fully get that. Like, can we not just be adults about this whole situation?
Yeah, and I think, the only
it's like it's different if it comes from a different player who's like not shown a history. Like if Jordan Poole said this, I'll be like, all right, like
I think
classic
even
Jordan Poole.
I think even with the Raptors, like if Scottie said this, right? Because like
Scottie absolutely cannot say.
But
this
you think
as a leader
about
of
it, the disconnect. The only disconnect I would have is like, I think Masai was asked about this too. Of you talk about rebuilding, but clearly players don't think the same way, and players are always gonna want to compete and they're gonna want to win. And I think Scottie, has been very open about that too.
Sure.
Of like, I understand this is a younger team, this is a rebuilding team, but I'm trying to win right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the disconnect that maybe hits people the wrong way. And then Jakob takes the podium like 2 hours later and is talking this way. But like you said, like I don't think this means anything about Jakob's intentions or what he thinks about the team. Like it's just a realistic way of looking at it.
Yeah. But, at the same time, we probably won't hear from Jakob Poeltl in a couple of press conferences.
Yeah.
No more Yak press conferences until the end of training camp.
I'm surprised,
that's my guess.
I'm surprised Darko trying to push the MIG agenda wasn't the thing that went viral.
Oh, man. Yeah. He was asked about MIG again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What was the
ask-
context?
I think it was just like, something about rim protection. And he's like, we got other rim protectors, Chris Boucher, Jonathan Mobo. And I'm like, you're not going to play either of those guys.
Yo, we don't got bigs. We got Migs.
We got Migs, man.
We got Migs now. That's amazing, man.
Mig the Stallion, man. I missed that one yesterday. Yeah, I guess the only other thing notable from just, I guess, the last couple of days of availability was I did ask, especially because like Chris was coming up and this is Montreal and stuff like that too. So I thought it would be a relevant question to ask. But I asked Darko, like, do you see Chris being in your rotation this year? And Darko, again, speaking to like playing the game, gave a very like, nice answer, right? It's like, we're going to, I'm going to do my best to get Chris, to the best of his abilities. I'm going to hold Chris accountable. I want all 15 players to succeed. That is a great way of saying, no, he's not playing. You know what I mean? That's like the opposite of what Yak did in the sense of like, we're just going to say it in the nicest way possible. So I think that's the only thing Yak was really guilty of, but it is kind of funny. You never see Jakob Poeltl ever go viral. The last time he went viral was when Ja Morant dunked on him. Like, I'm not even kidding. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Is there any other Raptor stuff? We'll have the Raptor stuff to cover for the rest of this week.
I'm gonna do my best, but I thought I gave you 3 pretty good ones with the quickly, with Garrett learning to fly.
Yeah, I think the assignment for you for the rest of this week.
What's your assignment?
Before we leave Montreal is, Bobby Webster is here as well. And I want you to get his 3 restaurant recommendations for Montreal because we know Bob is a bit of a foodie.
Oh, Bobby's a foodie, man. Yeah.
So want to know, he gave us some nice recommendations when we were out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I want to hear what Bob likes here in Montreal.
Okay, I got you. I haven't yet gotten a chance to like directly connect with Bobby aside from just a couple of head nods. And some
Asian head nod?
Some little chest pounds, a little head nod, you know what I mean? But when I get the chance to, I will ask him this question.
Okay.
And continue this rapport where he doesn't see me as a reporter, but as Dave Chang, apparently.
As an Asian ally. It's always AAPI when this guy walks in.
Oh, man. We want to take this moment in the podcast to let you know that Tangerine is the official bank of the Hello and Welcome podcast. Of course, you already know about Tangerine. You've seen them on the broadcast. They're the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and its fans. They're also a foundational partner of the WNBA and the NBA. And the reason we want to partner with Tangerine and vice versa is because we share the same vision. They are so dedicated to growing the game of basketball in Canada. They're dedicated to servicing its fans, and they've just been great partners. If you haven't seen already, we gave away some jerseys, we gave away some season tickets already, and we can look forward to more of those opportunities coming up this season. So with Tangerine, they're about forward banking, and that means that there's no unfair fees, there's no overly complicated products, and definitely no expensive brick and mortar branches. To learn more about Tangerine, you go to tangerine.ca. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and its fans, and the official bank of Hello and Welcome and its fans.
All right, so let's go around the NBA a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
Media Day.
What you want, man?
Took place last week and this week. I want to go through a couple teams and ask you a couple questions here.
Sure.
So we're going to start with the Los Angeles Lakers. So as you know, LeBron and Bronny are now teammates.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've seen the clips. There's actually been a lot of like just really cute dad and son clips. Like they had LeBron and Bronny. They were asking him because last week I think Rob Pelinka was telling a story about how Bron dunked on Bronny during workouts.
Oh, word?
And Bronny was like, oh, no, he stepped out of bounds. He also fouled me on another play.
That's like saying Anthony Edwards actually stepped out of bounds on the Yuta Watanabe dunk, okay?
Yeah, and
which he did, by the way.
Bronny was also joking about how he doesn't want to be commuting to games with his dad. He says that he wants to stay away as far as possible from that guy. It's like a joke thing. I think they're just all kind of like
that does raise a good question. Is Bronny going to live at home?
I think Bronny is living at home.
Like, why would you not live at home?
Yeah, but
it's like if you grew up in Toronto and then you go to U of T for school. It's like why aren't you living with your parents? Like, why are you choosing to live at college
but think about
St. George or something?
If you and Ronald were on the same team,
my LeBronald.
Yeah, if you guys were on Toronto FC together, and you're living in where the hell he lives right now, Etobicoke, I believe.
Relax,
shout out to Etobicoke. And you got drafted as a rookie to the team.
Yeah.
Like, how's your approach with this? Like, are you going to be like, okay, Dad, like, let's go everywhere together. Like, I'll come to work with you after practice. I'm going to wait up for you. We're going to go home together. Or are you trying to, like, create some boundaries here of, like, hey, Dad, like, I'm a pro player now. Like, I need my own lane.
This is actually very funny. But I do think it's very applicable that every child needs to hit the point where they draw boundaries with their parents. And I think Bronny is in a rare case where the boundaries have been drawn to include his entire life because they're in the same workplace, and you could argue that they're his dad, like pulled some strings and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would encourage him as much as possible to draw the boundaries, because again, people are already going to like make jokes at their expense, and some of it is just legitimately funny. Like, it's like not even a coincidence, because it's like, intentionally put together. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, is this starting to intrigue you as a storyline, as like we got closer to potentially seeing them take the court?
I'm trying to look at it
because like ESPN's gonna have this as like one of the major storylines all season.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at it just from like a sentimental perspective. Like, I don't know, from a basketball standpoint, I think if Bronny's going to develop into a really good player, this is going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are going to give him that time.
No.
Because like the minute he steps on the floor, maybe he like shoots 0 for 6 in like 10 minutes. Like you mentioned, that's going to like lead like first take.
That happened in Summer League
conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly. But from a sentimental perspective, like I think this is really cool.
Okay.
And the tough part for me is like, again, I'm always like, how big of a part of this story is it for LeBron than it is for Bronny? Because this is like part of LeBron's story too, right? Even the orchestration of getting him to the Lakers. But then I guess you're getting into the conversation of like, if the Lakers didn't draft him, would he be in the NBA right now?
Right, yeah.
So there's a lot of those, but I think one of the things I wanted to ask you is over-under here. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Over-under 1.5. Number of alley-oops that Bron and Bronny connect on this season.
Are these actual odds you can bet on?
These are Alex odds right now.
Oh, Alex odds.
Yeah, so these are Alex questions.
Got you.
For you. The Betway segment is coming.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
So 1.5 over-under number of alley-oops Bron and Bronny are going to connect on this season.
I'll do that in preseason, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like in preseason, yeah.
I'm just saying, if I'm I'm trying to make sure I'm not on the other end of that. If I'm Rudy Gobert,
oh, man.
No disrespect to Bronny, but I'm tackling him.
Who's throwing to who?
Either one can work.
Either one.
Either one.
Yeah,
I think Bron to Bronny would be more special.
I want him to like recreate like the Dwayne Wade, LeBron like Heatles.
Oh, that'd be
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
And then Dalton Connect is in the back just jumping.
yeah. He could be Luke Richard and Mbamute in this photo.
Conspiracy Al here.
Okay.
So, JJ Redick was on.
Why do you like to cosplay Bill Simmons, man?
JJ Redick was on.
We need to get our own Chuck Klosterman, by the way.
JJ Redick was on the final Low Post and as a guest, and he was asked about whether there's been talks of making sure there's a moment for Bron and Bronny like early in the season, in terms of just like acknowledging this, like how special it is to a father and son. And he did let it slip a little bit that it's been talked about that something might happen. So my conspiracy theory is on opening night when they're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, maybe there's an agreement at the end of the game, as long as it's not a tie game at the end. Maybe they'll allow Bron and Bronny to have a little moment. Maybe it'll be an alley-oop.
See, this is where
Wolves up 25, and Bron and Bronny are gonna go on a breakaway and connect on an alley-oop, and it's gonna be a Nike ad.
Is this the new CP hits a 3 to cut the lead to 42? Like, is that
Bronny completes the alley-oop to cut the lead to 23?
No, I think this is very important that they got to do this context dependent. It's super cool if they do this when they're up 20 and they like, get one more basket and the other team calls timeout, whatever, right? It's like so obscenely corny if they do this when they're down.
Do you remember when Bron set the scoring record and the famous photo was Thomas Bryant in the low post? Be like, yo, I got it. I'm posting up Chet Holmgren or whoever it is. Yeah. That's what I want. I want Rui Hachimura like in the low post, or being like, yo, I got it, while the alley-oop gets thrown. You still haven't answered my question about the over-under, though.
Yeah, I'm taking over easily.
Okay.
I think they might hit the over in just preseason alone.
Okay, we'll track these over-unders.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's put
You could have given 11.5. I would have taken over.
Let's put one outing at Greta each on these. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's your favorite spot, man.
Yeah, so the Los Angeles Clippers, without Paul George now, they did a lot of talking on Media Day. First of all, James Harden, who is now one of the head of the Snakes.
Oh, what?
How old is James Harden, by the way?
You're turning 40 tomorrow.
Yo, shoot. James Harden. I have no response to that.
Just to be clear.
I'm actually turning 40 today based on when it comes out.
Oh, okay, fair.
Oh, James Harden's only 35?
Yeah.
Okay. Head of the Snake
says
that this season, the Clippers style of play is, quote, going to involve a lot of me. And he says that there was a lot of talk in Houston when it involved James Harden that you couldn't win like that. And he's like, you just saw what Luka did last season. make the finals, play the exact same way as I played. If the Clippers become a James Harden-centric team,
wait, what?
What is going to happen at the Intuit
He
Dome?
really said this?
Yeah, he did.
I feel like, because I already know the Norm quote is coming, and we'll get to that one too.
Sure.
But it starts to feel a little bit like, I know like whenever people leave anywhere, any institution, they start rationalizing as to like, they start pinning, they start pointing fingers at them and sort of like, you rationalize the loss by sort of like, inventing a new thing and sort of like saying the problems are going to leave with the last person. Kind of like in a Raptors context, that's what happened with Fred. Right, it was like once Fred leaves, like all these problems are gonna leave with him, and we're gonna be unselfish. We're gonna put this self. I mean, and like, Fred leaving is not the reason the Raptors won 25 games last season. There's a lot of other things that went into it, but it certainly didn't help the situation. Like Dennis Schroeder, for example, was certainly no upgrade over Fred, which at times we were even trying to talk ourselves into, because anytime people leave a situation, there's like this strange bitterness, and I feel like this from the Clippers. Like I'm not even that big of a Paul George fan, but like that's objectively a huge loss. And for Harden to be like, hey, if Luka could do it, I can do it. It's like, yo, you're 35.
Well, that's what worries me.
If you could have done it, you would have done it.
Well, if you could have done it, you wouldn't have been on so many teams too, man. Well, actually, Harden kind of forced himself on a bunch of those teams.
Yeah. But
like you mentioned, with the bitterness, you're referring to some of Norman Powell's comments. Mm-hmm. He said he sees the Clippers losing PG as an addition by subtraction. Yeah. And that more guys are getting opportunities. So more shots for Derrick Jones Jr., more shots for Chris Dunn. Who else did they sign? They signed a bad person too. Kevin Porter.
Oh yeah, they did sign him.
Don't forget that, guys.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
And Norm went on to say that he knows that media outlets are writing them off, and because they lost PG, but he compared the Clippers to the 2019-20 Raptors.
Oh my God.
When they lost Kawhi. Norm, I love you, bro, but don't ever invoke the Clippers with the 2019-20 Raptors. Let's be clear. They lost Kawhi, but still had so many guys, every guy from that championship team. Yeah. They lost Danny Green too. Shouts to Danny. Yeah. But no, this is not the same scenario at all.
First off, like, next to the 2019 Raptors championship team, the team that the Raptors fans are most protective of is the following season. That, like, whatever you want to call it, like an epilogue, whether that's like an encore.
The most fun regular season team in team history, because
and
people think about the
championship. Norm knows
the regular season for the championship season was not that fun.
Regular season was actually fairly unmemorable. Yeah. The following season was probably, you're right, the most memorable regular season.
15-game win streak. Just the way that team played.
Different guys stepping up. And I think best case scenario for the Clippers, like if you, again, like when you're rationalizing a loss, like you might be trying to like talk yourself into that idea. But I don't think that that's what's going to happen here. No. And I think that especially how tough the West is, especially considering that Kawhi is probably going to miss some games. I think he's already limited at training camp. They had him spinning on a dolly, which was very funny to me. Shouts to Jerome for the edit, by the way.
He's limited, and also Kawhi said on media day that the inflammation in his knee is something that he's just going to have to deal with the rest of his career.
He said this from the last
he said
7
this
years
on his last
at least.
3 teams.
Yeah, he's like, yo, listen, I'm not going to work every game. You just got to know that, right? So it's like, you factor in all those things, and it's like, I just don't see this as that sort of rallying thing for the Clippers. But having said that, though, like the Clippers do have, I guess Norm is a very productive player. He probably will do a little bit more scoring. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. It is a fairly large loss for them, and I think I would feel a lot more confident if James Harden was like a lot younger. Mm-hmm. But seeing James play for so long now, seeing him clearly on the slope of his decline, it always bothers me because it's so awkward when a formerly great player can't accept that they're now no longer great. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe James Harden proves us all wrong, but like I don't see this as a winning team for the season.
Yeah, it screams 500 team to me. And I think that would be I think that's right around where
and again, like maybe that in an abstract way it's hard to do that. So I'll ask you, like, do you think this is a top 10 offense?
No. I don't see it.
Do you see this as a top 10 defense?
I don't see that either.
Okay, so where's this team being above 500?
This team's going to be mid. Yeah. They'll be mid.
It's a mid team. Mid to low team.
So over under for you, 1.5 again. Number of playoff series Kawhi will win with the Clippers for the remainder of his career.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Yeah, I know. I was up 3 a.m. thinking of these last night.
Wow. Is this why you missed practice?
No, I was watching Industry after.
Oh, yo, shouts to Rishi. Actually, no shouts to Rishi. Bad person. To be clear, do not
This guy
support
was shouting
Rishi.
out Charles Hanani, and then I kept watching, and I was like, why? Okay, anyways, go on. 1.5 number of playoff series Kawhi will win for the remainder of his career with the Clippers.
You know, I'm going to say over out of sheer respect.
I'm surprised.
I'm out of sheer respect to Kawhi, and I do think that the Clippers will be able to attract another star in the next. Actually, I don't know. They don't even have assets.
Kawhi to Zion.
They don't even have assets
Kawhi
anymore.
and Zion listed probable.
By the way, my hot take for the season is this is the team that trades for Brandon Ingram.
The Clippers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They can get him
need to make a
They
move.
get a discount. They have salaries to move. And I think for the Clippers, they just need to, like, they obviously don't have a lot of picks left to exhaust because they've already traded a lot of them. But I do think that they can get Ingram on a discount because it seems like Minnesota or New Orleans is trying to shed salary.
Okay, so you're going over.
Or Zach LaVine, one of those two, but one of those two guys, yeah.
So you're going over. You're saying Kawhi will win at least 2 more playoff series.
Yeah, man,
with the
I trust
Clippers.
Kawhi, man. I
I trust Kawhi when I see him on the floor.
Yeah,
But
right.
anyways,
Yeah, this is an optimistic one. I'm not gonna lie.
on to the next team, the Milwaukee Bucks. So it was reported on Media Day, Giannis said that him and Dame were not able to get together all this offseason to work out. But they talked regularly throughout the summer. Is this the NBA's first situationship? What is going on, brother? Like, what is going on? They're just in each other's DMs, but they're not seeing each other. What's going on, man?
This is really one.
Bill.
Oh, wow.
We signed G Trent. We got DeLon Wright, man. We've been in this. I've been in this league long enough, man. Like, summer's the summer, man. When you get opening night, roll the ball out there, man. I love the freak. You know, I told Brooke, man, we're gonna play drop. We're gonna take advantage of you, man. All right, so Giannis.
Yeah, wow, that's
Giannis and Dame
sounds exhausted
did
already.
not get together this offseason.
Yeah.
Are you concerned?
A little bit concerned.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I mean,
The top 2 guys on the team coming off a super disappointing season.
you should be really motivated
How are
to
you
make this
just
work.
not in the gym?
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously, I trust both of them to have been working individually.
Sure.
And
But
both
what
are
does this say about
super
chemistry,
hardworking
too,
players.
though? Like,
Yeah.
you're trying to win a championship.
No,
Like,
I mean,
what happened?
maybe we just took it for granted that the Raptors liked each other enough to go to California and play Rico runs for weeks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like, that's a common thing. Like, teams always bring mini camps together or
Guys
like
that
full
are on
groups.
opposing teams work out together all the time.
Yeah.
How are these guys not working out together?
I mean, what do you want them to do? The all summer working on pick and rolls? Like,
But I don't know, man. I just think you're coming off a season like that. Like, you gotta, like, we just talked about the Raptors needing the summer to build chemistry and all this stuff. I think the Bucks were in the same place. Like, you had a tough season. Like, you got to build from this.
yeah, no, I mean,
Doc Rivers is very disappointed.
This is a little disappointing, but also like, I don't know. It should be fine. I think their bigger issue is, again, they're just old, and also it seems like Chris Middleton is just never going to.
Chris
be healthy
Middleton
again.
had double ankle surgery.
What?
Surgery on both ankles.
Wait, at the same time?
I
Like, he just
believe
laid
so,
up?
and he's working his way back
Goodness.
from that. And then this is a note from Jerome.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm just pinning this on Jerome for
Go
no
ahead.
reason.
Yeah, do it.
Which is Giannis the horniest superstar in the league? Because when he was asked which Greek god he would be, he said Aphrodite, the god of love. And when asked about his favorite part of his wedding, he said the wedding night after the wedding was my favorite part. Yeah.
He loves making.
Look up Giannis and ringing the bell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Giannis loves making the jokes that I did when I was in grade 9.
Yeah.
Like, he loves it. Like, if you gave Giannis a knock-knock joke book full of, like, dick jokes, he would, like, it'd be, like, the best gift
He
he ever
used
got.
to bring a
book of
like
jokes.
a joke
Yeah,
book
like a
with
dad
him,
jokes
like to
book.
the podium. and
Yeah.
stuff. So
He's fine, man. You know how, like, I'm not gonna say immigrants are corny because, you know, I'm gonna be pretty self-aware here. Okay, we could be corny, but yeah, sometimes, you know, the humor just doesn't translate. That's all.
Yeah, I thought Giannis was really funny for a little bit there. And then I don't know what happened. I feel like he really leaned into like the corny side of things.
Right.
And then
I mean, you have this great theory of like sports funny people.
Right.
Was Giannis even sports funny?
So the quick thing is like I basically think everyone in sports is like not actually funny.
We're just dying
in
to
a real
laugh.
context,
We're
but it's
dying
like,
to love them. Yeah.
But it's like there's not a lot of humor in sports. So then when DeMar and Kyle do their little thing, it's like, oh my God, they're so funny. Or when Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, the new DeMar and Kyle,
careful.
are like,
they're a playmaker team.
Oh yeah, shouts to playmaker. But when Josh Hart shows up to media day, it's like, who's Cat? We traded for Cat. It's like, that's not funny. Like,
Actually,
how's
not
that?
funny,
How's that funny? I mean, I've drawn the line at OG too. People have gotten mad.
Yeah,
because I've said that OG
you
is
put
not
OG in the
funny.
sports funny category.
But this Giannis was sports funny, like elite sports funny for a little bit, and now I feel like I don't know. He's really leaned into that corn, you know.
I mean,
a corn dog.
If you got dad jokes, he does have like 3 kids. I think by now.
I think it doesn't help too when you get like knocked out in the first round every year and stuff.
It's
not cooler the same. When you win a championship and then you bring a joke book. And then you go to Chick-fil-A the next day.
But this is the issue with athletes. Like we judge them and perceive them totally differently based on if they win or not, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It'd be like judging us if we're not the #1 basketball podcast in Chartables.
I mean, that's what we get judged on.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so like if we fall
I can
out
either
the top,
go home or not go home to see my dad, depending on the week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you?
He's like, who's Club Shay Shay?
Is your existence valid because of your status at your job?
I'm like, Club Shay Shay's not even basketball.
That's kind of fucked up. But
he had Cat Williams on, man.
Yo, Giannis is mad corny though. I'm not gonna lie.
Over under 1.5 number of playoff series. Giannis and Dame will win together with the Bucks.
That's over. That's easy.
Think so, eh?
I think like
they might get broken up after this year, man.
Okay, fully healthy Milwaukee versus Indiana. Who you picking?
I gotta see what this Milwaukee team's about.
Also, fully healthy is not gonna happen, I guess. Well, Chris Middleton is just like.
So you're gonna go over on this?
I'm probably gonna go over just because I'm assuming they'll get some like easier matchups. Like, let's say the Bucks get like the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed.
Sure.
Well, I guess even then, like the 3rd seed could be like. I don't know, man.
I'm just saying that the East is getting a little bunched up now.
You're going with the Heat or the Heat or the like. Let's say it's like a 2-7 and the Heat win the play-in as they always do.
I gotta see, man, because the Bucks and Heat like flip-flop years where they're good.
Yeah.
Like they just see each other all the time.
Okay.
And then one of them just one-ups them.
Yeah.
Are you going over on that?
I'm going over.
Okay, and finally we have training camp weight watch.
Oh, okay.
Victor Wembanyama, now paired up with your favorite CP3.
Oh man,
is listed at 235 pounds coming into the season. This is a 25-pound jump from his rookie year. Okay. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, Joel Embiid says he's lost 25 to 30 pounds and hopes to lose more and says that his only focus this year is doing whatever it takes to be healthy when the playoffs come around. I'm really glad he finally decided on that in year 11 when he's 30. Where was this energy when you were in your prime?
I love it, man.
Where was this energy last year?
I was just only chasing MVPs. Yeah.
Which weight watch are you more impressed with?
Definitely the Embiid one.
Okay.
Because that's actually going to be impactful to the potential title race. Like we talked about it before. We were talking about like the tiers and stuff. And I think my thing with Philly was just like, I want Embiid to embrace everything's about the playoffs. Let's get to the playoffs healthy. Let's cut down on the weight. Let's like, get to his peak level defensively because I think he was taking a lot of plays off defensively in the regular season, stuff like that. A peak Joel Embiid can be the best player in the Eastern Conference. Almost, I would say, even should be the best player in the Eastern Conference. But there has not been one time in how many years has he played now where he has been the best player in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. That hasn't happened once. And like, who should be standing in his way? Like, this guy is like the strongest player. He's an incredible defender, especially at the rim. He can get to a shot now at an incredible rate. He can shoot the 3. He's got the great mid range. He obviously flops for calls. Can't stop him around the basket because he's so strong. Like, what's stopping him from actually being the best player in the Eastern Conference? Really? And the East has a lot of great players, right? Like, but I've seen Jimmy Butler be the best player in the Eastern Conference. I've seen Jaylen Brown be the best player in the Eastern Conference in a playoff series. I've seen, I don't know, man. Obviously Kawhi's done it. Giannis has done it. You know what I mean? Like, Embiid, like, once he does this, and hopefully he falls through with this, and obviously hopefully his body holds up, but like it's about time that he does one of these runs, man. And he's got all the help he could ever really ask for now too. Yeah,
honestly, as a basketball fan, as much as we joke about and hate on Philly and stuff, like I just want to see it.
No,
like I just want to see it with any of these players. You want them to go through at least once in their career, where they have a proper playoff run and really measure themselves up against the best players.
Sure.
So looking at the
Victor getting weight thing is like, I mean, that's normal. Like, yeah.
So looking at
this is his freshman 15, basically.
God. Looking at the MVP odds on Betway, so Nikola Jokic is the favorite for MVP coming into the season, 7-2, followed by Luka Doncic at 15-4, and then you've got 3 players at 6-1 odds. Joel Embiid, which I think we're gonna rule out because he's already talking about sitting out. Yeah, we know that you have to meet the 65-game criteria.
Right.
Also at 6-1 are Giannis and Shea. So, do any of those entice you? We talked about Giannis just now.
Yeah.
We know what Shea is all about.
Yeah.
If you were to pick maybe a bit of a sleeper after Jokic and Luka, is there someone that kind of stands out to you? I'm kind of liking Shea at 6-1.
Shea at 6-1's not bad. I think that the only thing with Shea is I don't know what jump he's going to make from last season.
Mm-hmm.
He's already scoring over 30 a game. He's already getting over 2 steals a game. And I think OKC is going to have so many games where they win that he's not going to play 40 minutes and really ramp up his overall counting stats. Actually, Shea probably is fine with my. I
do like Shea because
I think the case is
they're going to win. Let's say they win 60+ games.
OKC wins the West.
Yeah, they win the West.
That's how you.
They're the talk. So make sure you hit the QR code and check out Betway. Shea right now is 6-1 odds. I think that's pretty good odds if you're looking at getting someone for MVP. By the way, Victor Wembanyama is 20-1.
I'm not taking that, man.
He would have to. What would Victor have to give me his averages for him to win MVP on a 38-win team?
Okay, first off, nobody's ever won MVP from a losing team. I don't think in the history of sports.
Not even Bob Cousy?
I don't even think Bob Cousy was
never
doing that,
lost.
right? No, Cousy,
Trick question.
Yeah, there's only 6 teams in the league back then. They were winning those.
They played the Toronto Maple Leafs.
They were winning those Maple Leafs
they
original
played
6 titles.
Salming in the lead paragraph of your write-up.
Yo, that's crazy, man. Yeah, you didn't know I knew that one.
Yeah, so give me the averages, man.
I think if he averaged, let's say 30 points,
not enough,
15 rebounds, 8 assists,
it's got to be at least 40 and 20
blocks. Yeah, and then shooting 50, 40, 90.
Well, just indulge me here for 1 minute.
All right, go. Let's go. This is Avon and Sugar being dream with me on a balcony, except we're in here in Montreal.
If Wemby averaged 50 and 20,
how is he going to average 50 and 20,
Are you going to throw him an MVP, first place MVP vote? If Wemby this year just averaged 50 points a game, 20 rebounds, 50? And 8 blocks, this is why I said indulge me.
Yeah. Okay.
If he hits 50, 20, and 8, does he win MVP?
I will give him MVP.
Okay.
I will give him MVP. I will happily hand it to you for averaging 50 for the season, man. Wilt Chamberlain style.
Yeah, just like Wilt, man.
Yeah, some of those Wilt stat lines are so funny.
We've still never seen footage of
you gotta
the 100-point game.
If you ever need 2 minutes of entertainment, you got to look up Wilt Chamberlain's stat lines on Basketball Reference.
They're actually ridiculous.
They're so funny, man.
They're actually ridiculous.
Bro, as a rookie, he averaged 37 and 27.
Yeah. I think there was one year where he just got bored and decided to lead the league in assists.
Yeah.
There was one year where they're oh, he's not a good passer.
Yeah.
So he just did it. I really wish we lived in the Wilt Chamberlain era.
Do you?
Yeah. But
you wish you lived in 1961?
We're going to wrap up. We're going to have more coverage from Montreal, before we wrap up.
Yes, wait.
Just have a quick birthday shout out to myself.
Coming out. Yeah, that's right.
Episode's coming out on Wednesday, so I'm turning 40 today.
Yeah.
So happy to be sharing.
Send your Alex your birthday, wishes. Send him free gear.
If you want to buy me stuff,
shirts.
just DM me. He's
very
links.
vain.
Yeah, please buy me stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy and thrilled to be in Montreal sharing this birthday with you guys. But it does make me realize,
What's
you
up?
know what would be better than hanging out with the two of you in Montreal?
Going to Greta Bar?
If I was in Toronto.
Let's go!
And we were hitting up Greta.
Let's go!
Because I know on my birthday, I'm walking in and it is a free roll from you guys.
Oh, word?
We are loading up those game cards.
Yeah.
We're going to play Papa Shot. I'm going to go 0 for 30. I'm going to go 0 for 82 and it's going to be still gravy.
Oh, yeah.
And the poutine is still gravy.
Nice.
And yeah, we would have a blast at Greta. So
I
think when we get back to Toronto, we got to find a night and hit up that Greta, man.
Let's find the night, man. You live in the area. King West.
Yep, don't dodge.
Easy to get to.
Yeah, so we'll be there. So that's it. More coverage coming up this week.
Well, no, but seriously, you are turning 40.
I am turning 40.
What are some words of wisdom that you want to share with us now that you've reached this advanced
No words
age?
of wisdom, really. I think, as I was approaching age 40 in the last few months, I was at times just, getting a little bit down on it, just
really?
looking at my
existential crisis?
No, just looking at my mortality.
Oh, that's
being
what do you know? That's
being man, I'm turning 40.
Yeah.
But I've kind of turned that around in terms of realizing that whatever age that anybody is at, there's still time for you to learn new things, to experience new things, to even continue to grow as a person.
Yes.
Because there was a time when I was oh man, I've hit this age. I thought maybe there's certain expectations I didn't meet that I did meet.
Oh man.
But then now I hit a point where I'm no, I'm excited. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
This is not the end of something. It's just a continuation.
Oh yeah.
To continue to grow and stuff. I really believe that.
Oh man. The first time, that's beautiful. And as your friend, I will say that you have grown a lot for somebody who I think people stop growing at certain points. I really do. I see a lot of people get stuck for a while, and not permanently, for a while. And I think a lot of people get stuck at a certain point. And I've been very impressed with sort of your ability to expand, to seek out help, to find new friends.
To seek out help is so good.
Yo, man,
I'm glad you sought help, my brother.
Shouts to our therapist. You wish you the best of health, and
please come back soon. Please.
You don't understand how much Alex needs this. His 40th birthday, all he wants is...
I can only be fueled by anger and pettiness for so long. And then it crumbles.
Yeah, he's not joking, but you have grown a lot, man. And I think that, as an OG of mine for a long time, like I feel like, if I was as youthful as you when I'm 40, I'd be very, very happy.
No, I want to thank you guys too. Like Will, you, like Jerome as well. And just like everybody, like everybody in my circle, man, like Ennis and everybody else, like it's just been great, like learning from you guys, like being around you guys. And that's the thing I would say too, man. Like you get older in age, like you just want to find spaces where you're comfortable around people where you can just be yourself. Like that's like always been so important to me, whether it's like work, whether it's personal, and just being in these spaces, like it's a beautiful thing,
No, we always joke about you having generational wealth, but like you actually got generational wealth of friendships. That too. You got a lot of people in your life, and I hope you get a chance to celebrate them. Although we are here, obviously in Montreal, but
it's gonna be me, you, Jerome,
Albert.
We're gonna send Bobby a desperation text.
Bobby, please, man.
No, we'll just go to like
the same age as you, by the way.
He's younger than me, I think.
He's younger than you?
Yeah, I think he's like James Harden type age.
Word. He has secret 35.
So, but we'll hit up nice, like just like a chill wine bar or something. Let's go somewhere chill, man.
Really?
There's no need to do.
Now that you're 40, you want to go to a wine bar?
No, there's no need to do anything like belligerent.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not trying to come back on our next recording and be like, oh yeah, I was banned from the casino in Ottawa because we went there overnight.
Okay, but first off, that is a horrible idea, Jerome. We are going to stop him from ever doing that. The other thing too is it's funny you're saying this because like this man proposing to go to a wine bar, but at the same time we got in at like 1:30 a.m. and the first thing we did was walk straight to Montreal pool room.
You got to hit that steamy, man. Combo number 4, 2 steamies, a drink, and a poutine.
Yo, everything on that hot dog too.
Poutine was amazing. I think you guys all vouch for that.
No, it was sick, man.
It's a beautiful area to walk around at 1 a.m.
Is it?
Yeah. So no, going to the pool room. That's a tradition like no other.
For real though.
That's Jim Nantz calling the Masters, man.
Yo, shouts. Okay, buddy. Shouts to Montreal. Shouts to the Raptors announcing purple. That's why you're wearing purple. Shouts to you turning 40 again. Send Alex your birthday wishes. And
gifts are better than wishes.
Gifts are better than wishes. Lessons.
Money
wisdom
talks.
From. Okay, man. How much more can he say this, man? Please grow as a person. That does it for us today. I've been your host, Wolu. You've been listening to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. Once again, salute to all our partners. Betway, Tangerine, Greta. The more is coming. More is on the way. We'll talk to you soon.
Hello.
And welcome.